In this video, we're going to talk about what it means to get your device reloaded or reset, or sometimes it's even referred to as re-imaged. And that is typically something that happens when you need to get updates applied to your device that are more substantial, or you have an issue with your device, it's very slow, or it's been out of date for a while and things aren't working correctly. And IT is telling you that you need to have your device reloaded. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what that means, how you can prepare for it, and a little bit about what you can expect from the entire process, with an emphasis on maintaining your files and just, saving things that you don't want to lose during the process. For documents, files, things like your web favorites and bookmarks, and a couple other little odds and ends like the Windows sticky notes feature, things that could be affected during this process. But first, let's talk about what's probably most important to you, and that would be your files. People don't like losing files or folders, and that's often a concern that people have when a device is being reloaded or reset like this. Kind of sounds like you're about to lose everything. You won't, especially if you use OneDrive. That's one of the benefits of OneDrive is completely untouched during this process. So the best bet that you have is to make sure that all of your important files and documents are already backed up to OneDrive. You can confirm that before you drop your device off at IT to be worked on, or you can manually save some things or back them up manually to be sure that you're not going to lose anything that is important to you. So first, let's talk about how to view your OneDrive to see what's in there, so you can confirm that the most important files, that the things that you want to be sure that you don't lose, are there. To open up your OneDrive on Windows here, just hit your File Explorer down in your taskbar, and then in File Explorer, look for your OneDrive Ephrata Area School District icon that looks like this. Anything that's saved in here is already backed up to OneDrive, and you can be certain that it's going to be there when you get your device back. So if you just want to go in here and just look to make sure that your most important things that you definitely don't want to lose are there, go ahead and do that to confirm. However, if you want to just play it safe and do some manual backups, I'll show you how to do that as well. And depending on what kind of issue your device is having, you may have an issue with OneDrive synchronizing. So it could very well be the case that you have files on your desktop or in other locations that are not brought over to OneDrive. So I'm going to show you how to check for that and how to manually back those up to your OneDrive. So that way you can drop your computer off and be confident that when you get it back, you'll still be able to recover those files. First, let's start by creating a backup folder. This is just what I recommend. You can be a little more specific with this if you'd like. This is just one of the quickest and easiest ways for what I would recommend. So in your OneDrive folder here that I'm already open, you can click the New Folder icon at the top and call it something like backup, and then I usually add the current date. That way when we get the computer back, we can open up this location and find this folder and have everything that you manually back up in here, so you can know that you have it and that those files are safe. I'm going to open that folder now. We're just going to simply drag and drop anything that we want to save into this folder. Let's start with your desktop. Depending on how many files or folders you have on your desktop, you want to make sure and look through just obviously for the most important ones. Now you can pay attention to the icons. You see the small green checks. The small green checks do mean that the folder or the icon or whatever it is backed up to OneDrive already. So you're fine if you see lots of green checks there, and if you're wondering if those files are safe, they are, because that icon is telling you that they are backed up. And when you get your other computer back, you will have all of those files. If you just really want to be sure, you could, of course, drag and drop any of them into your newly created backup folder to create a duplicate copy. That can just get a little messy and time consuming, but it is an option. So take a look through and, of course, just focus on what's most important to you. If you see any red X's or any other icons other than a green check, it could indicate that there's a synchronization error, and that would be probably the best thing to focus on for creating these manual backups. Just simply dragging and dropping anything that you see, like here, my Schoology 3.4 folder does not have a green check, and everything else does, I believe. Yep. So maybe that's one that I would want to drag and drop over, and I'm confident enough to know that those green checks are not lying to me, so that would be good. Another place you want to check here is your downloads folder. Anything in your downloads folder is not syncing to OneDrive automatically. You will lose that, and once you get it back, that folder will be empty, so you can manually back these up if you'd like. Just simply drag and drop to the backup folder, and then you would be good. And then, of course, any other folders or locations on your computer that you want to just be sure that the files are going to be accessible once you get your computer back, you can go ahead and look in those and drag and drop to the backup folder, put whatever you want in there, and you'll have this folder when you get your computer back from being updated. The next thing I'm going to show you is Google Chrome. There are a couple considerations with Google Chrome. Most of it involves your bookmarks or your bookmarks bar or your favorites, things like that. If you are a Google user and you sign into Google Chrome with your Google account, like I do, you don't need to worry about this, because signing back into Google when you get your computer back will, bring back all of those things. All of your favorites, your history, your bookmarks, your bar, all of that stuff will be there for you. If you don't sign in, there is a way to export. Now, it's a little bit more time consuming. I would recommend asking for help with that at MTS if you want to make sure you're not going to lose these things, or just simply create a Google account or sign in using the icon in the upper right hand corner of your browser before you drop your computer off. But again, ask us for help if you want to make sure you don't lose anything. That's pretty much it for Google Chrome. And last, I want to just mention the Sticky Notes app. Down here in the taskbar here, you'll see the Sticky Notes feature if you have it, if you use it. Now, if you don't use this, you don't need to worry about it. But if you are a Sticky Notes user, please know that Sticky Notes will be deleted after your computer is reloaded. And you can save those just by clicking them and take a picture with a phone or something, or just take a mental note, and you will have to recreate those. That's just something minor, but I wanted to mention it just in case you are a heavy user of Sticky Notes. That can be pretty traumatic if you would lose all of that. So that is basically the main considerations for when you are getting your computer ready to be reloaded by IT, which will completely reset it and hopefully fix any major issues that you're having with your device. Just some of the ways that you can be sure that you're not going to lose your important folders and files, and web settings and Sticky Notes, things like that. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to MTS or email me, Ben Rossman. I'd be happy to help you out with any questions you might have. But hopefully this video helps clear some of that up for you. Thank you.